The first time I went to the Holy Land in 2015, I have to be honest, really the only reason I went was because my mom wanted to go. And I knew that if I didn't go, she wouldn't. So I agreed to do so. But even after that, I have to, again, be honest and say, I wasn't sure what to expect. I wasn't really sure what I was looking for as I was going there. And then I went. And in certain ways, I'm glad I went without any sense of expectation. Because through that moment, I discovered an even deeper relationship with Christ. Especially in the moment when I was able to celebrate Mass in the tomb of Christ. People often ask me, what did it feel like? And I have to be honest, I can't express what that feeling was. It was so overwhelming. I truly felt like I was somewhere else in so many ways. As the altar in the tomb is directly over where they laid Jesus' body. And as I think about that moment, and I think about my choosing to go there, it is that question of what was I looking for, what was I seeking through that moment and through that opportunity. And in certain ways, that's the same question I see arise in today's gospel. They found out that the disciples and Jesus had left, and they went seeking. They went looking for him. They wanted to find him again. But the question is, what were they looking for? Was it simply to be fed? Was it to see more miracles performed? But we discover actually what they were looking for at the end. For they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. I think in certain ways, as they went there, they weren't sure what they were looking for. Much like my going to the Holy Land, I'm not so sure they had any expectations. But in that moment, by coming to seek Christ out, they encountered him in a new way. And that is ultimately what happened as I went to the Holy Land. As I came to seek Christ out in that place, in that moment, I discovered a new relationship with him, a new understanding. And the reality is, we don't have to go to the Holy Land for that to happen. It can happen anywhere. On a deserted beach. It can happen in your home, on the top of a mountain, as you're simply with your family having fun somewhere. In coming to discover Christ in our life, it isn't about where it happens. It's about how open we are to it happening. It is about our desire, like the people in that day, it is about our desire to seek Christ out in our lives. I hear so often from people that they can't find Jesus. But my question really is then, are you actually looking for him? Are you doing the hard work of trying to actually find him? Or do you think it's up to God to do it all? Yes, it all depends on God. It all depends on his grace. But we have to be open to that grace. We have to be open to the opportunity. We have to desire to truly seek to find Christ in our lives and in our hearts. But the funny thing is, and this is where it can happen, why it can happen anywhere. Wherever you are, even if you are not seeking Christ, he is already there. Because Jesus will never forsake or abandon us. He will always be with us. But we have to be willing to look for him, to find him in our lives. But so often in our lives, we go looking for something else. We allow ourselves to get so easily distracted by things that don't matter. The big house, the nice car, the best clothes, whatever it might be. All of that stuff is irrelevant. There is one thing that matters. One thing and one thing alone. And it is Jesus. When they saw Jesus leave, they went looking for him. They went to seek him out. They went to find him. And when they did, they encountered Jesus in a beautiful way. May we do the exact same. May we desire nothing more in our hearts and in our lives to find Christ. May we, through the grace of God, do the hard work of truly seeking Jesus. And we don't have to look far, for he is standing right with us. But we have to ask ourselves first, what are we looking for? What are we truly seeking in our lives?